What's up, guys? So yesterday I did a live stream on Twitch, and it was the unboxing of the new WINWING Super Libra and Super Taurus. These are the throttle is the Super Taurus, and the Super Libra is the stick. And I forgot to hit the record button and the stream button. So if you want to see the stream, it's up on Twitch. It's in the VODs. You can go watch it, but in about the second half, the copyrights kicked in and started muting the stream on the VOD. So, unfortunately, I was going to upload that. Couldn't do it. Probably better for you because it was 5 hours long. So, what I'm going to do now is actually just kind of go over all of the things that I saw. And the reason I want to do that is the pre-orders for this, they have currently ended, I believe. But they're going to reopen them again shortly for like 3 days or something. And then it's going to go up by $100. And then after that, at some point, it's supposed to go up another $100, $200. I forget the actual cost right now. But the whole point of trying to get something out early and get a first impressions video out is that I feel it's fair to you in case you're on the fence. You can go one way or the other. But if you're not, I would highly recommend waiting for a review. There are a lot of people that got this. Moltar got it. Nubifier got it. I think Ralphie Dude got it. Growling Sidewinder, Red Kite, Check6 maybe. There's a few other people. So there's a lot of money, you know, and I don't want to sway you into purchasing something you're not going to like, but I do want to get my quick brief. I opened it up. Here's what I think information out there, and you can make an informed decision on your own based on that. So today, I'm just going to cover the throttle. The stick, I was having some issues with the gimbal. I replaced the cam and the bearing last night on the stream. I couldn't get everything situated right. There's a little bit more of an intricate procedure to get it all working together properly. And the manual itself, I did read it. I read it multiple times. I don't quite understand it. It's Chinese manual translated to English, and I personally think that there's some translation lost, but we will see. Alex is making a video on how to do it properly, and I will address it then, look at it. I'll reassess what I did. Hopefully everything kind of comes out better, and then we'll do a video about the gimbal and the stick tomorrow or the day after, or as soon as I can figure everything out. But I'll get it out to you as soon as I can. Again, not a review, but just first impressions, because there's going to be limited time for you to make your decision. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at this. It is a big, huge throttle. It is about 10 to 15 pounds, I think. The entire box with everything was roughly 33, 34 pounds. So minus packaging and everything, this is probably at least 12 pounds. It's fairly heavy. Not as heavy as the Warthog throttle, coincidentally. Maybe it is with these, but without the mounting system, not so bad. So let's quickly go over what I like and don't like, just at a high level about this throttle. So the mounting system, it's got a little sway this way, but that's not really a big deal. Once you mount it, moving it forward and back and flipping switches and everything, it's fine. It's totally fine. I had no problems with it at all. We have an actual friction lever, and the friction lever actually does exactly what it's supposed to do. There are finger lifts, and the finger lifts actually pull it out of the stop and into idle, and then you can move it forward. It has an afterburner detent, and you can push on through. You can also do the finger lift if you wish to go all the way through. And the friction does actually do what the friction does. You can see here, I can just tap it. It kind of has like nothing, no friction at all. If I put it all the way up, I actually have to give it some gusto to get it to work. The buttons themselves, we have external wing tank, the refueling probe, dump, fuel dump, engine crank. Some of these are momentary, some of them are on-off. So engine crank is momentary. It's not really like that in the F-18, but That's a design decision they made, and I'm guessing it's because it won't automatically flip back like it does in the F18. I don't know. Maybe they can have some insight there. We have the APU. We have a Gen-Tie control with a plastic cover here. This is plastic, not metal. It does have enough force to be able to turn that button off, or turn that switch off. We have the bleed air over here, and this is not one-to-one with the F18. These are a bunch of extra buttons that they thought might be useful in some places. We have interwing. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to be. We have the strobe. We have position lights, formation light knobs, bleed air, like I said. We have the pitot heat and engine heat, or anti-ice. And then right here, so this would be an example of, I'm fairly certain most of this is kind of in this spot in the F18, but on the left side here, we have the left gen, right gen, and battery, and those are actually located on the right side of the jet. But they're here, you get to use them. Right here we have ground power. The top 4 of these are momentaries, so you push it forward, you let go, it comes back to center, push it down, let go, it comes back to center, kind of like a test switch. We have external power here, reset, momentary, off, and norm. And up here we have the fire test station A and B. Sorry, not station, but fire test A, fire test B, and then norm, and it is a momentary switch. On the throttle, we have a button here. It's a momentary button. We have the air brake, which works just like the air brake. You can retract it and you can extend it. And then this is actually a 3-way when you try to program it into DCS. So that is a button input, center is a button input, and this is a button input when you push forward. We have our COM switch, which would be COM 1, COM 2, and mids. It is also a depress, so you get the functionality of, or extra functionality on that. And then we have, I believe this is the countermeasure switch. I'm not going to remember what all of these buttons are. You guys can correct me, whatever. I haven't actually looked yet what they map to in the real jet, for the most part. Anyway, we have the countermeasures. So it's also a 4-way hat and also a depress. On the front, we have our slew control. Turn that so you guys can see it a little better. Kind of hard with the black. So we have our slew control here. And that is pretty much like the Delta Sim mod for the Warthog. It feels really nice and also has the nice depress. And I think from the look of things, I didn't pull the cap off. I kind of peeked behind it. It looks like it's the same components as the Delta Sim. So take my word for it. Don't. It's nice. Feels great. Right here we have the radar antenna elevation. It's spring-loaded switch. It's an axis, so you can go up, down, and let go, and it returns to center. We have 2 buttons here, both momentary, and we have the switch for your external lights on and off here. On here, we are missing a button for the landing gear, something for landing gear. Doesn't have anything for landing gear, or flaps. Now, I would say that's probably not an issue because we have a whole bunch of extra buttons we can use, but it would have been nice to include. Go either way. A lot of this is transitioning. You use a certain control set for so long, and in my mind, that's all I can think of. And when you go to transition, you're like, oh, nothing's where I expect it to be. So I'll have to tinker around. So the other thing that this offers, which is not in the real jet, is this here. It is worded the thrust lever neutral feel tension on off knob, switch, whatever. What that really is, if I put this all the way back here for a second, grab the right Allen wrench here. If I bring it to the center, you can see here, actually, let me show you this first. It's a little clunky to get around. We have idle, off, right? Those are our detents. We go back down to idle. Bring it back up here again. You guys can see we have mill and max. Now, mill, I'm not entirely sure is a thing in the real jet. But what this gives us, if we bring it up to mill, we can fiddle around in here. and you can turn this knob. And when you turn it on, this gives us a mill detent. Let me move this one all the way back. Let me see if I can make it a little stronger. Let's see. Let's see if you guys can hear it here. Maybe you can see it. Anyway, take my word for it. There is one on this side, and that is for the right throttle. And there's one on this side for the left throttle. And you have to adjust them individually. And that's what that's for. The other thing it has is the thrust lever sync. And it says caution, must keep both levers in off position before syncing. So pull them all the way to the off position. And I'm a little bit conflicted on what this is supposed to do. So as I turn this, and you can hear it squeak, but as I turn this, you can see here, these will start to separate. Okay? And it says in the manual, don't turn it a whole bunch, you can break it. So I'm not going to turn it much further, but what it does for me is these are much harder to get apart. And once I do get them apart, it feels like normal. What was happening before is once I separated these, and I'll show you this in a second, but once I separated these, pushing the right throttle forward without this setting in place, as far as I've moved it, these would smack each other. This left throttle would be in a little bit, and it would hit when I do this. So it's solved that for me, but the problem is now it's really hard to get them in and out of position, and or in sync, I should say. And the problem there is when you're trying to do fine movements like formation flying, you actually want to roll these. And as an example, if I pull this all the way back, and we just turn this off completely, if you were to do formation flying, and sorry, I'm looking up here because I'm trying to make sure you can see, that's my playback monitor, that everything's on camera. So excuse me for not looking at you and looking up here. But if I put these here, and now there's no tension in between them. They move completely free. And what you would do is you walk the throttle. So as you're trying to make your fine adjustments, you're actually rocking your hand, kind of like you get like a roll of coins, and you're kind of doing this with it, back and forth. You're moving your fingers like this, and that's going to walk the throttle, and that helps you get that fine movement where you need to speed up just a little bit or slow down just a little bit, and, you know, especially when you're in parade formation or you're coming in for a landing on a carrier for case 1 or case 3 or case 2. So the problem is I can't have both. I can't have it so that these don't hit. So right now, if I push it forward and then I push this forward, it actually hits it, right? And that's not ideal. However, why would you do that? So not really a problem. For me, just something I'd want to point out. Maybe mostly for the developers of this, so maybe they can come up with a better solution for version 2. Not a knock on the product. I think this throttle is fantastic. It is made of metal. This is plastic. I don't know what kind of plastic. Beats me. But the top is also a plastic, but I believe this is all metal that it sits on. Everything else is metal. I haven't opened it up yet. I'll save that for a full review. And then the mounting solution actually goes all the way through it. This L-shaped bracket goes all the way through. Sorry, you can't see that. This L-shaped bracket goes all the way through to the end here, and it screws in on both sides. So it's very solid as far as holding it upright. It's done on both sides. And that's, I think, everything I wanted to cover on the throttle. The mounting solution here, it just you put it on your table and you're done. It does come with these spacers. And so that way, if you have a thin table, you can do this and you can get some extra room. That's that. Thank you guys for watching. hopefully this helped you understand what this thing is about. I don't typically do this kind of quick breakdown, especially day after day, back to back. But because the stream didn't work recording wise, I kind of wanted to get this out there and let you guys know. I felt bad. I promised a lot of people I'd put the stream up, but obviously that's not going to work. So that's kind of what happened yesterday. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.